Hello, everyone. Welcome back to the Talking Mode. My name is Sarah, and alongside with me is Caroline.
Hi guys, welcome back. In today's episode, we're gonna talk about anything and everything animals about the animal
Yay!
kingdom. Yeah.
So yeah, literally anything, right? And
Yeah.
randomly too.
Okay,
Okay.
we're just gonna wing it.
Okay. So
Okay.
let's get started. Okay. So let's get started with the discussion
Okay.
question.
Okay. So I feel like the agricultural evolution. It's a very big milestone in humankind history, and I feel like sometimes people regard it so highly and so significant that we tend to forget that along with all those benefits comes many disadvantages for other species of animals. So because of that, I mean, like, for me, in the book *Sapien*, um
Mhm.
the author, he talked about how like people take uh animals for granted, and they, because of their tangible benefits, they use very cruel methods with animal, like to extract milk from cows, for example. And I don't know, they, how, like, when cows are born, like, I don't know how to, what do we call, like, young cows? But like when they are born, they are separated from their mother, so as they will not like suck all the milk of their mother. And because of that, the farmers can then take all the milk away, and so that's very sad. And there are other cruel method, but I feel like we should not mention it because it's very, yeah, it's very dysfunctional, to be honest.
So I have a question relating to this
Okay.
topic. So we always think that the human beings are like higher in terms of like the hierarchy, higher
Mm-hmm.
than like animals, right? But the
Yes.
thing is, we need them. So do you think that
Yeah, it's like
when
the
we
domino
like,
effect.
can we like survive without the animals? Like, if all animals to be like extinct, all of them, can we really
Yeah, of
survive?
course
What
not.
would it be like? Yeah, what would the world be like without animals?
It's interesting that even though we are top of the food chain and we're the highest animal of all, but like other people, no, other animals, they can survive without us, but we cannot survive without them. You know, it's
Of
very
course, yeah,
interesting.
that is interesting. However, I think that it's looking back on the evolution, see that um they're here like on this earth before us, right?
Yeah.
So like dinosaurs and lizards and other kind of reptiles that were
Mm-hmm.
here before like any like first human, and so they still thrive to this day. Not dinosaurs, but like lizards and turtles, and yeah. So
Uh,
why do you think that, why do you think the reasons for that, like why do we need animals when we, because why do you think that without animals we will not thrive, like right now, like because
yeah,
like
because we are weak.
agriculture and many of our sectors, like yeah, agriculture and many other industry really depends on the productions comes from animals, right? Like you said,
Yes.
milk, dairy products. That's like the big industries. So
Yes. Um, I feel like, as we are heading towards in the future, and as we are developing more advanced technology and maybe AI, I feel like that's kind of an opportunity to maybe decrease our dependence on animals and their produce. I don't know if that's even a case, but for me, I feel hopeful that if that is the case. But regarding the question that you asked about why, like, we cannot survive um without animal, other species of animal, I feel like because we are weak physically, because uh the evolution of like, what's that called? What's our ancestors?
Gorillas,
No,
chimps,
not chim, really chim, vô người. Yeah,
like yeah, right. I think
I don't
it's
know.
like chimps, right? Chimps.
Yeah, a branch of chimpanzees, and as time proceeds, they eliminate the feature, like the very strong feature, vigorous feature, to earn another, I don't know, other features, like how our jaws become smaller and how our hands become smaller and stuff, because that's all the outcomes of evolution. And because of that, I feel like there's a contrast between our evolution and other species evolution, because as time proceeds and as the climate is getting more and more severe, other species, they are becoming stronger and stronger, but us, we are becoming weaker and weaker because we are too dependent on like technology, for example, and even other species of animals. So that's one of the reasons why I think we will become extinct if other species become extinct. Yeah. What
Interesting.
about you?
So like, do you know like animals used to be like larger than now? Like even for
Yeah, yeah.
example elephants, like mammoth elephants, they're like ten
Yeah, because they
times
lost
like
of a habitat.
yeah 10 times the size of the regular elephants right now. So even though they have the ability, right, to adapt to the changing nature and to the changing climates, but do you think they will die out eventually if like global like global warming is continuing like to be on the rise? Do you think they can adapt to that? I think they're dying out, and so I don't know about humans, but I have not read too much like on the evolution of human like adapting to changes from the not in the modern period. I read it in like the evolutionary process, and that it's significant. However, I don't know what would happen to the human beings like genes and different body postures or in the coming years. Like for example, what will humans look
Yeah,
like in
yeah.
3000, like in the
Because
year 3000? Yeah.
we are sitting at our desks too much, and I wonder if we are becoming smaller and smaller because we don't need to do heavy stuff, right? Oh,
Right. So
that's
like it will be
yeah,
like in the age of um technology, right?
yeah,
Digital and everything like that. So what will happen? I mean, I think come to think of it, it's a very interesting questions. And I mean, even looking back, it's even more interesting knowing that.
yeah,
However, even though I understand that we um, descended from like through a lot of steps, but still I find it very intriguing at the same time very not persuaded because it all sounds so magical, like scientifically,
mm-hmm.
even scientifically speaking, it's all like remains a lot of mysterious things
Yeah. Because we
for
fortunate to be
science.
born in this era and not like a couple of million years before this. Then we would be then that would what that for me wouldn't seem so magical anymore, because the time it takes to evolutionize is, it's like very very long, like in terms of like billions of years. And so yeah, if moving forward kind of 1 billion years, it wouldn't be so magical anymore, I feel like, personally.
Yeah, and talking about that, I think that they have found like there are I think they have found like different human like like kinds of human beings.
Yeah, Homo sapien and Homo erectus, and we
Um,
are Homo sapiens.
yeah,
We
but
are
I
the
forgot the
strongest.
name. Like they have just found it, like the skeletons of a new kind of
Really?
humans. Yes, I think
Okay.
in Asia or something. And do you think that like there's another kind of human beings that live like
Yes, I do. I
during
do.
like there are different types of human beings.
Yeah, because like
And what happened when we come to meet them? Like
so in the book Sabian, I feel like that's a very interesting book that we should all read. He talked about like in the beginning there are many different form like kinds of humans, like Homo sapien, Homo erectus, and some other, like we each come from a distinct region. So for example, Homo erectus, I believe they come from Africa, and us, and then the different kinds of humans, they mate together and they produce kids that kind of bear the two genes of the two kinds. And I don't know by any chance, but like Homo sapiens and us now are like the only kinds of human that were strong enough to survive. I don't know why the other kinds, like they became extinct. Maybe because of war, or just because of natural selection, like the Charles Dickens. No, not Charles Dickens. Charles Darwin.
Darwin, yeah, Darwinism.
Darwin, like the strongest survive and the fittest survive. And so yeah, I feel like there's very mysterious topic. Yeah.
All right, so let's get back to animals, shall we?
We are animals to an extent.
Right, the other kind of animals, right?
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so now we're going to talk about the interaction with
Yes.
animals, right?
Yeah.
So I think that one of the things that we find, like the thing that kind of like separates us from the animals is like one of them is the interaction, right? How we
Yes.
interact, human, like interaction between humans and humans and animals are so different. And I think one time I even read about this, like there's this funny article on how dogs feel like human beings, like the action of mating. Like we think dogs, cats, when they are mating, we kind of laugh, right? But this article explore they're on the side of like through the eyes of the dogs, the cat, looking at the human, and they ask these questions like, how weird is that? Like even for them, like they think that we are, because like see, we've always been like the species that we talk, we think, and we think that we are the only species that can do that, right? Talk,
Yeah.
and think, and exchange information. However, animals can do that too, but they just speak in their own language, something that we cannot understand. And and do you think that we give them like the lower kind of credits for not understanding us while we cannot understand them too? Like we think of them as lower than us because we cannot, they cannot talk, but at the same time we cannot understand.
Got it. So it all comes down to the kind of superiority that humans assign like very randomly to ourselves. That we like suddenly we woke up one day and we decided that we are the best. And so because of I don't know how, like I feel like in your situation that you mentioned, it's kind of very ironic to see it that way, but at the same time we are the species that technically have more power than other species. And so I feel like that kind of, in a sense, put them in the lower ranking. Yeah, that's a very hard question. I don't know how to answer. But really, it all comes down to our, I don't know.
Yeah. Okay,
Randomness.
so what do you think about the interaction? Like one of how about this? You share one of the interaction that you find in animals. Yeah, you find it like weird or like cool or
Yeah, okay. I have one.
what
Um,
is that?
okay, so talking about the chimpanzee family, the gorilla, and the like, yeah, that whole family. So about like the patriarchy that we have among humans, like men are considered higher than women, but like in the chimpanzee family and the gorilla even, um female female chimpanzees are indeed considered higher,
Mm.
and they follow a matriarchy
Yeah, so
system.
they are dominant,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, because also in the book Sapiens, I feel like I'm promoting, but like it's a very interesting book because he compared the gender inequality between female and male, and he laid out all the different theories that people think that men were better because of that. For example, men are stronger, men are more intelligent, men are more aggressive, stuff like that. And one of the things that he looked at is that the fact that men are more aggressive, that because of that we considered men more higher than women, but really the the aggressiveness of men are useless in today's society because social skill and being able to communicate very directly and very efficiently are
Mm.
the skills that are needed in today's society. But like, yeah, and those are the traits that women possess, not men. And so yeah, I feel like that's very interesting that we are clinching on the fact that men are more maybe um, more stronger and more aggressive externally, but we tend to forget the true values that are needed in today's society. Not like in chimpanzees, they value social skills of female chimpanzees over male ones. So yeah, that's one of the interaction I feel that's very interesting. What
Right.
about yours?
So talking about the interactions between animals and
Yeah.
animals, I like the relationships, kind of like the interactions between one kind of animals to the other one. Kind of like I
Mm-hmm.
really like. I don't know if you remember, we've learned about the symbiotic relationships between the different kinds of animals, like how the, for example, the the birds that it ticks on the zebra's coats, like kind of like they help each others in a way
Ah,
that,
okay.
yeah.
Like
So
the alligators and the bird, right?
right, yeah. So the birds
Oh,
kind of eat the kind of like
germs.
the germs, like the leftovers from
Yeah,
the alligator's teeth. So like
yeah.
while yeah, it's like both of them benefits, right? So the birds have something to eat, and the alligators get their teeth clean. I really
Yeah.
like those things. Like, so I usually sometimes when I'm free, I just look up for some kind of weird animals relationships because they're so like diverse, and it's also looks so like I don't know. Do we have that? Like, do we have a symbiotic relationships
But like
between
maybe
humans?
we are the only species, so we cannot like the only
Mm,
species that can understand all that. Maybe yeah. So I don't know about that. Like if only there was another human kind, then we would
there is.
consider about it.
There are like I think as
Yeah.
of right now there are different kind of human beings that lives at the same time as like parallel, but in some other part of the world. And yeah, it will
Really?
be, yeah, there is. So
Okay.
kind of like we evolve, but like some of the species, like some of the human, um, yeah, human species is still there. Like I really
Maybe
don't know.
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about that, but like maybe yeah, because the world is so diverse. Yeah, maybe we can hope that we can maybe meet our like fellows, um, humans in the very far future though,
Right.
because like yeah, they need to a lot of time to be able to evolve the same way that we do. Yeah, because the reason why they are maybe hidden is because they are not as um evolved as we are. So yeah, interesting. Oh my god,
Okay.
it's cold.
So how about the relation, like the interaction between animals and humans? I find that
Animal,
also,
human.
yeah, I
Okay.
find that very cool. Like I've before we record this, I sort of looked back on the relationship between humans and beluga whales. Do you know the beluga whales? Like that is one of my
Yeah, I
favorite,
heard of that.
yeah, one of my favorite marine animals. They are white. Belugas, I think the belugas means white in some kind of language.
Latin,
Russian?
I feel.
Russian or
Oh,
something? I don't know, like, yeah, and it's kind of like something like that. And they're white and they look very funny. Like, if you just look them up and you can see that they look very friendly, you know? I think I was, um, I've known about this beluga whales when I watched one of the animals documentary,
hmm.
and I was intrigued by their hunting technique and also how like they kind of scrouge along the seabed, like all of them, and they're just
Hmm.
praying. It looks very cool. I don't know. Maybe we should
Okay.
like provide. Yeah, I'll show it to you someday. But like it was so cool.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
there's this interaction between what was that, fisherman and this beluga whale. He
Hmm.
stated that it was a very famous yet mysterious beluga whale. So he kind of scrounged along the oceans for days, but like he cannot feed them because he said that even though we find that it is a very funny encounter with animals, wild animals, and and we tend to
Hmm.
give them snacks or like, yeah, snacks,
Yeah,
or
that's dangerous though.
because we feel like it's, yeah, because we feel like maybe they're asking for it, and who can resist, it's just they asking for fish, and we just cannot resist. But he said that it's dangerous to feed them because that way we will make them be like dependent on us, and then
Yeah.
they cannot like find food on their own, so that it's very dangerous.
Yeah.
um,
Yeah.
and alongside with that, I think that I find the animals compilations between like the animals and the kids, so like they mimic the kids, and then it was like
Yeah. The interaction
the
between.
interaction was like so funny when the kids just yell and that the animals just did the same thing.
Yeah, but like there are some very heartfelt situation though. Like I saw some girl on TikTok. She visited a an aquarium or something. Not an aquarium, but like she was on the beach, or just like some kind of aquarium that you can basically stare in the ocean. I don't know about that, but like, and then she dropped her phone, and then when she thought that she had lost it, the dolphins, he got the phone, then he swam up onto the surface, then he gave it back to her. That's very sweet. Dolphins are
Yeah,
very smart.
watching like animals videos was like the videos of them are like very heartfelt, and
They're
it's,
very innocent, not like
yeah,
us.
and it's very relaxing, just watching them. It's so they don't they act based on their instinct rather than just thinking too
Yeah,
much.
yeah.
Oh, I remember when you talk about the aquarium when there was this famous I don't know, like trending event a few months ago when the aquarium keeper, I don't know, manager or something, she and her partner got married at the aquarium due to the lockdown and stuff because
Mm-hmm.
they work there, and so um, they they gather like a lot of animals, and then it was like so funny when you got the guests as like the animals as
uh,
guests.
oh, that's one of a
And yeah,
lifetime
and
though.
the other day the penguin got out, like they just opened the cage for the penguin, and they just that penguin just walked around the aquarium and looking at
Uh-huh.
the fish. Like he just, hi, I'm here. Like I'm out here and you're still in there. Like,
Yeah.
and they even like joked and they do all sorts of tricks and stuff. I mean, I could
Yeah.
watch them like all day, watching just animals.
But like it's sad that that's the only time that it would be let like alone and free.
Yeah. So while we're on the topic, do you think that keeping animals in, um, like in zoos or in aquariums is a good thing?
So there's two sides to it, I believe. So there are some animals that maybe got like injured and maybe like were born with a disability or something. I feel like those are the animals that need to live in zoos and cages, or even just in constrained spaces, because they really need special care and special people looking after them. But but I don't agree with the action of maybe hunting down animals in order to force them like into zoos and maybe try to tame them. I don't know, but like there's two sides to it. Maybe a side of like trying to rescue the injured animals, and also intentionally hunting down and maybe catching and poaching even animals to maybe lock them up in cages and zoo. So yeah.
Right. So I think that keeping in animals in captivity, there are two sides. Well, I think that they have good intentions when
Mm-hmm.
because the animals that were kept in captivity were in danger, right? Most of them are in danger, and
Yes.
they
Yes.
think that it will be best to keep them there, just for the sake of let's see,
Their
like next
life
generation, yeah, their life, and they could
produce,
yeah
reproduce.
produce. But sometimes that's not the case when they're in captivity and they have all sorts of mental
Yeah.
illness that I've seen the pandas was so depressed that he just lived the rest of his life, being there, like entertained, just sitting there, and
Yeah.
it's like
It's
so
sad.
sad. But yeah, so I think that sometimes it works, like for that keeps the animals out of danger, like out of poachers or illegal hunting. But well, I think that when we kind of like not interfere with that with animals at all, they're still being killed by
Yes.
us.
Yes.
When
Oh
every day
yeah.
we've read about one kind of species just extinct, and that's just heartbreaking. I remember the time when the last white rhinos were was extinct. He was like 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 there were two left in Asia, but then one of them, just there are a male and the female one. So basically, if one of them died, then that's the end, right? You cannot
Yeah. Yeah.
produce with just one. um, and it's just sad. And there are even events when some of the animals got released back into the wild, but I
They
don't know
can't.
if that is
They
good
can't
because
survive.
but because they're in captivity for so long, they're being fed, they're being bathed, and
Yeah.
everything has been done to them. And I don't know if, even though that is releasing them into the wild, um, I don't know if they lose their ability to live on their
In
own.
hunt. Yeah. So there's a very controversial aspect to all this problem, because like at the same time we are trying to save them, but at the same time we're killing them to an extent, by
Right.
keeping them in captivity and like losing all their natural um, talents of hunting. Yeah. So I don't know what's good about this, but we are trying to preserve and conserve all the animals that we can.
But I think that the one thing that I am very against is using animals for entertainment. Like
zoos.
For example, like zoos, they just keep them and we just go and look at them, right? But
right?
at circus, right? And
Yes.
some of the I don't know, like recreational parks or something, they have this thing where you pay to have a ride on the elephant, so like a one ride, or
Yes.
or you can pet the tiger, the baby tigers. I think that is very cruel because why we tend to be kind of drawn into the fact that we could and touch, pet the animals. Like, how cool is that? Come to think of petting a baby tiger. I think that's even like a privilege. But the thing is, when you pet them, kind of like they got separated from their mother, right? And so they're being used for like monetization, kind of like.
Yes.
And in the in the case of elephants, so you see, like they're being used, like I think in Thailand, right, or in
Vietnam too.
In Vietnam too, right?
Asian country.
Asian,
because
a lot
we don't have many animal advocates for animal rights than like the Western country.
I remember we said that we banned like from riding animals in.
We cannot measure that because our laws are not strict enough.
Right, and so I remember when they said the ban, but then I was there in Daklak, and then I saw, people riding elephants right there. The law was there and nothing happened.
Yeah, because they ban the action, but they don't punish the people that do that, and they just allow the monetization to happen. Then there's no point in banning like that action. Like that's just basically theory.
Right. So there's a law, but no one is carrying it out, right?
Yeah, because there's no punishment if you don't do it.
So it's heartbreaking, but and I think there are a lot of advocates for animals, but it's really hard to
because they are very scattered.
Yeah, and it's very hard if no one. It's it only works when everyone is on the same page.
Yeah. Because we are not educated enough on this matter. Like even we learn about economics, we learn about financial things, but we tend to forget about animal rights. Yeah, because we care about, for example, gender equality, racial discrimination, but what about animal rights?
Because like deep inside, like there's some part in us saying that they are lower than us. Because we have this thing where we think that we are superior, and
because of that we think that problem is not urgent enough for us to care.
Like straightforward, if you ask someone whether you can choose between an elephant or a baby, it'll be outright a baby. Like I think there's no kind of like right answer for that, but
that goes the same way too when the animal is given a chance to choose between their kind and our kind. Yeah, right. Yeah, so there's really no right or wrong answer when it comes
there's no right or wrong, but the thing is we are like we have the power to choose.
We are responsible for repairing. Yeah, because we basically damaged them in the first place. I don't know, but we aren't just taking them for granted again. I don't know about that.
So what is your I think that we tend to blame animals for a lot of things. You remember, like the Wi-Fi incident, or like when we lost connection, we just kind of like blame it on the elephants. And I think that is like the stupidest things ever said by I think that when we said that we blame the sharks, I think that we are trying to cover for our mistakes. Like
that
if
we
they, yeah.
interfere their habitat first.
But the thing is when we the cables should not be in anywhere near the
Yes,
the
yes.
animal. I think, and if we are acknowledge that, why didn't we do anything about that? So it's kind of like a really lame excuse for
So that many people
it's,
believe that because we are not educated enough.
right. And blaming animals are easy. They won't talk back, right?
Yeah. Like just imagine that they're blaming us too for interfering their habitat and maybe killing their kind.
Right. So
Interesting.
maybe they
Yeah.
cry. They even complain, but they're in like underwater. Maybe we cannot see it.
Just like us, we complain, but they cannot hear us. But because we have more power, we can basically slaughter them to our liking. That's unfair.
Yeah. But what's
But
fair anyway? What's fair anyway?
really, because it's all comes down to survival. Like if they survive, that means we don't survive.
Why not make like the
Interesting.
best of both worlds, right? For both.
We can't because people are insatiable.
And even
They
like
see money and they just become mindless.
the money that makes us all like that brings out the worst in us.
But like if there was no money, then there was no cooperation and unification, because money is a universal order. So I don't know, you see, there's no answer to this. Like how can we fix this? We have to sacrifice our needs or their needs, and obviously we choose our needs.
Right.
Okay. Okay, 50 minutes.
So.
Do you want to share experience?
I think that we've turned this kind of animals topic into sort of really random. Like it's even randomer. Like
just
we
like
started out
to figure out the question, the puzzle of all.
Because the thing is, I don't know about you, but I don't really have much chance to talk about animals with someone.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, sometimes I talk about it with my grandpa because is also interested in animals and he watched the animal like the show.
That too.
Yeah, but sometimes it's just really hard to talk about animals with anyone really. Right. So a little bit sharings about us and the animals. I remember you have a cat, right?
Yeah, and you have 1 cat and 3 dogs.
One cat, 5 dogs.
5 dogs.
5 dogs. And 1 rooster and a hen.
It's like a
farm. It's like a mini zoo. I prefer a mini zoo.
And they are like chaotic whenever I visit.
They don't like you.
They do. Just like one of your dogs. Like
they just don't like.
Yeah. And the other 9 like me. Not him. Okay.
I think like before my family, like before like I was born, my family even had a monkey. And a python too.
Oh my god!
But he escaped.
My family, we only have cats. Yeah, that's all because my mother, she's allergic to fur and everything like fur, so we cannot like really have pets in our house. Yeah, but I love cats, so no complaints.
Really?
Yeah, I love cats. You are a dog girl, and I'm cat girl.
I remember your complaints about your cat being on your keyboards all the time.
Yeah, I love her, but like sometimes with your kids, you love your kids, but sometimes they annoy you. So like that's the same thing. she just came and she just like interrupted me and not let me type. She typed for me. I don't know. That's interesting.
Okay, so I think that's all for today.
That's a wrap. We should have talked more.
That's enough rambling about animals for today.
This video should be 2 parts again because it's been like an hour or so.
It's okay. Just 2 girls rambling about animals and
advocating
whatever. So I think before we end this, I just want to say that we have to be like aware of the animals' rights, and our actions towards the animals are very important. Animals are what makes our world so diverse, and I think that without them, the world would be so dull. Like, because they create a lot of kind of colorful impacts on us. So yeah. So do you have anything to add on?
No, that's perfect.
Okay, so we'll see you guys on our next episode. So stay tuned,
stay safe,
and stay awesome. Bye.